Hey Arvin, welcome. How
Hello.
are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. All right, so let me look, we've got Sana, we've got Sartok as well on the program. Let me see if they're okay. So we're good on the live stream. And Sartok. Hey, welcome, Sartok.
Hi.
Hey, all right, and we've got okay, so we're waiting on Sana. Let's go ahead and get started. So just a reminder, make sure you've got both of y'all got your original sound on or ready to go for when we start. Um, and when it's your turn, just say the name, the title of your piece, and then we'll go from there. Oh, and here is Sana. Good. Sana attendance. Welcome. Hey, hi Sana.
Hello.
All right, so we've got okay, got a lot going on here. How about Sartok? You're first on the program. Would you be able to start us out?
I would like to go second, please.
Okay. Maybe Arvin, did you want to go first?
Sure, I can take the first roll. Why not?
Okay. All right. What are you playing for us tonight?
I'll be playing Fantasy Etude number 3, the Pixie Ball.
All right. Here you go. All right, nicely done, Arvin. Okay, great work with this one. So can you tell us really briefly what did you find challenging about this etude? So what do you think was the kind of the technique that was this etude was focusing on?
Like in general practice or in this performance specifically?
Oh, just in general and learning the piece.
I think the hardest part for me definitely was like the idea of repetitiveness and like how
Mm.
to vary repetitiveness to avoid sounding redundant while having the same notes fundamentally in certain sections, right? Like the start and the
Mm.
end, or like when you take the repeat over there with lines one and two, or like where can I really add something different to this so that it's not just the same line repeated over and over again and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So like a musical. Oh, excuse me. It's like a musical consideration, like how
Hmm.
yeah, how to find some interest in there. Because and so I say this because usually etude means that you're the piece is sort of written to exercise or do a certain a
Hmm.
certain technique, right? So
Right.
some etudes have like a lot of scales or some have a lot of arpeggios or what
Hmm.
they kind of use that as the main idea, right? So what seemed to be the repeated idea here
That's, I'm not actually
since
too
we're thinking
sure. To
about
me, it is
repetition?
like this idea of like repetition and something
Well,
like
so
that. But like,
what was maybe what's kind of did you notice like a special technique in this that you don't often come across or
I mean, when my instructor was assigning me this assignment, they very specifically said like this gives you a good grasp on repetition, which is why I keep bringing it up. In fact, because
oh yeah
they're
yeah so
like,
yeah a
yeah,
lot
this is good
even
practice on that.
yeah section scale repetition
Yeah,
and
even
I
like
think
note repetition
yeah
with
note
like
repetition
repeated.
here
Yeah,
like you get to practice I
hmm,
would imagine this is part of what the etude thing
yeah,
is yeah you get to practice the using the same finger to repeat a note
hmm,
right but then also like yeah exactly like you're saying there's a lot of repetitiveness in some of the phrasing the phrasing as well so you have to practice how to manage that but yeah so nicely done I thought this was very well done all right thanks Arvin great job
thank you.
okay let's move on to Sartok. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right. And what do you plan for us today?
I'm playing the storm today.
Nice. Okay. All right. You can go ahead whenever you're ready. Just make sure your original sound's on.
Yeah, okay. My name is Sarthak, and I'm gonna be playing this etude called The Storm.
Ooh, nicely done. Very well done, Sartok. All right. Terrific. Yeah. So excellent. Nice dynamics there too at the end. Um, yeah, I thought those were great. So what did you find that you had to concentrate on a lot as you were practicing this and
The
learning this?
jumping around of the left hand because the right hand had mostly repetition, but the left hand was the main melody of this song, and it was just jumping around everywhere.
Yeah, so a lot of quick, you know, yeah, a lot of quick jumps between different registers there in the left hand. Nice. I thought that was yeah, that was well done. And even yeah, just kind of playing a melody with your left hand can be kind of tricky. I guess if you're left-handed, it would probably be nice, but um, yeah. So this is yeah, great work here, Sartok.
Thank
Um, how did you practice? I guess so. What kinds of things did you do to practice the left-hand jumps?
The left hand, I started off by doing one line at a time, hands separate, then hands together, and
Hmm.
then I practiced slowly. And then when I gained confidence, I went faster a little more and a little more. And then after that, my instructor told me I now that I'm ready for the seminar, I can also add in some dynamics to make it even better.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, nice. So that was really well done. Um, so one thing you can, I mean, with the left hand, it is the jumps are really tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you probably did this, but one thing to really get yourself on track is to really focus on the where are these where are the changes happening exactly, right? And then how this hand motion is really just yeah, this is really just a picking up your hand and putting it down again, right? There's no crossing or anything of fingers. Now, here I would say so think about when you have little gestures like this.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, it is important to like think about, well, what's the immediate next note that I'm finding with my third finger, right? You see what I'm talking about here. Um, or too low, sorry. Um, really, though, what's in the background is you're looking for your thumb on A on count one. So sometimes when you're moving, like when you're moving your whole hand like this is I bring this up because this is kind of sometimes a hidden thing that you're thinking about with your hand, but you might not really see as you're reading the music and practicing. Right. So notice your thumb is where in this part of the measure, your thumb's already on A,
A.
right? So then when you're transferring this leap, how far is your hand really moving? So instead of thinking, oh, I'm going from finger four to finger three, and like I'm moving, what is this, a sixth, right? I'm moving from D down to F like a sixth. That can kind of be tricky to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But right, where's your thumb going? Your thumb's going,
One octave lower.
yeah, just right. So that's what's happening with your hand. So sometimes it can be tricky when we're like reading and getting like really into the notes. You can think like, oh, this is a really weird jump. I don't know how to make sense of that. But yeah, when you look at what your whole hand is doing, guided by your thumb, it's really just going an octave down.
Mm.
Right. So that can make it. Does that make sense? So sometimes like that can make it if you recognize what's going on like in that way, it can make it a little easier to navigate with your hand. Um, but yeah, well done. Great work here on this piece, Sartek. Um, very nice. All right, and let's go to Sana. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, and what will you be playing?
I'm gonna be playing Beautiful Things today, and Mr. Aaron and I, we made the left hand into chords instead of what it is, so it'll still have the same root. It just won't be exactly what's written in the
Oh, that's
music.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So you kind of created your own left hand
There'll
chord.
be a little changes in the writing,
Okay,
and I won't be playing the whole piece, just like a
okay,
page and a
okay.
half.
No flipping off the piano. Okay, no flips. All right, nicely done. All right, so what did you feel like went well there in that first part that you played here?
I think I did pretty good on like maintaining my notes. At least, like I know I stopped at a few spots, just unsure of what I'm playing. But other than that, I think I did pretty good at maintaining the left hand and stuff.
Oh yeah, it sounded very secure. I was going to say I liked your right hand had some very nice phrasing too throughout. So you did a great job, I think, playing melodically and shaping the notes of the right hand too, in addition to right. I know you're trying to like we're trying to get all the notes and rhythms and get the left hand in there, but you didn't right. That didn't detract from you playing the left hand nicely and melodically. So what have you found tricky besides? Well, I mean, I guess the left hand, right, jumping around a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, what has been the most challenging part of working on this piece so far?
Because this is like the right hand is the vocal part, and like it's really hard to like match like what a person can sing. So the rhythm, learning the rhythm and stuff was like tricky because it was more complicated than what I normally work with. So
Mm. Well, and so sometimes it's it sometimes is hard to come to the written music because the way something sounds is not necessarily mean it's going to look
yeah.
nice and clear, right? So I think we hear a lot of these, these pop songs especially, right? And the vocal line sounds fairly right. It sounds smooth. It sounds like there's direction. We can kind of tell where it's going. There are like these subtle, in terms of if we're talking about the rhythm of the underlying pulse of the music versus the vocal line. When you see it in notation, you start to see
Mhm.
how the vocal line kind of is anticipating certain things. Anyway, long story short, sometimes it can look more complicated in notation than it actually sounds. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's why I feel like you did a good job navigating and trying to match what you know of the vocal line, right, with your hand. And that's great. That's a great reason to play the pop songs, because that's good. You're making a connection between the rhythm that kind of looks scary when it's written, but when you play it, right, it has this nice finesse to it, and it's great. So just remember when you're navigating these rhythms, right? Um, what I find, or can you tell me a little bit about so how have you approached reading and kind of practicing the rhythms here? Um,
So me and my instructor did was we like really like focused on like we counted it out and like structured it and used a lot of repetition to get the rhythm in to like become more of muscle memory so that I'm not really focusing on trying to nail the rhythm rather than it comes easily to me and stuff.
yeah, good. I mean, yeah, so that's great. Using number one, right? This is a lot of practicing. Take a smaller chunk and kind of repeat it a few times to get better retention of that, rather than kind of try and hack your way through the whole piece and then not remember any of it. Right. So what I would do, and I'm sure you've probably been doing this already. Remember the way they choose to notate a lot of this pop music, a lot of these little timing things are happening at a 16th note level. So
Yeah.
really break down when if you're counting, or even if you're, tapping or doing a pulse, really make sure you're marking out each 16th note slice of time,
Yeah.
right? So that you've got exactly, not even just the counts, but you can see exactly where each hand is attacked. Um, and go like super slow motion a couple times in repetition, then speed it back up. But yeah, so that's the challenging part of this. But it sounds like you've been doing a lot of work um, in that area because that was sounding terrific. All right, thank you all. So we're almost at the end of our time here. So I'll see y'all later. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Thank you for joining me.
Me too.
Great playing. I'll see y'all later. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.